This is a podcast which does not shy away from difficult and vulnerable topics. The content is of an adult nature and we do swear at times.
Welcome to the Autistic Licence podcast. I'm Siana and I'm in Carrickfergus in Northern Ireland.
I'm Leo in London.
We invite you to listen in on our conversations as we experiment with unmasking in an autistic space. We talk about what it means to discover we're autistic as adults, especially with established careers as therapists. We want people to know that autistic therapists exist and to broaden the conversation about neurodiversity. You're so welcome to join us, whoever you are and wherever in the world you are. We hope you'll find something of interest and connection here. Good evening.
It's the late night show. It gets a little blue.
It's a little blue. Okay. What's the reference?
It's something that a comedian might say for a late show. Okay. I can't remember specifically where I know that from.
Autisticlicence@gmail.com. Do you know?
Yes. I'm sure it's something that I've got if I find it.
For context, it's actually 6:55 p.m.
Yeah, but it's been dark for hours.
Late.
It's winter late, and it's also I've been up for, actually not almost 13 hours. It's not a full day yet.
Yes. Also context, I've just been out driving in the dark, and it did feel much later than it was.
And you must have come straight out of the car and to your desk.
Well, I went in to say hello to the cats, to make sure the heat was still on, and to get my close-up glasses that I wear.
Yes.
I had my other glasses on, and they were in the house. So I did that, but then I came in here, and we have got a shorter time than usual. So we're just going to see what's there. And Leo feels empty. So listeners, let's see what actually is in the depths of Leo's well tonight.
Or yours.
Yes.
You want to see Molly. Molly has got her bed right behind me and a comfy client chair right behind me, which Woody would normally actually curl up on when they come in here. Yeah. But she's chosen instead to put herself down in the corner there.
Oh, hello, darling. Hello. Hey. She's not responding to my voice at all.
She can't hear your voice because I'm using headphones, actually. I'll put you on the speakers briefly. There you go. If you can
Hello, Molly. Hello, darling. Hi.
Oh, she winked at you. She
winked.
I told you she does that. All right, darling.
I did not sound like that.
That's she did.
Accent.
That was her. That was
her. Oh. I don't know. Why do you think she necessarily speaks in your accent?
She actually will have, if she has an accent, if she speaks English, it will be an Egyptian one, in fact. Yeah. She's from Cairo, so I'm not going to attempt that one.
Yes. My cats are from Myanmar.
Well,
actually, they've got a French father, but originally Burmese cats were from Myanmar.
We love our pets.
We do love our pets.
Yes. There is an autistic flavour to that, I think. I think I hear lots of people saying that they have a particular affinity with animals and with their animals and communicate with them a little bit differently. It's the direct talking. I'm floundering. I don't know.
Direct talking? What do you mean?
How we would prefer to communicate without all the fluff and ambiguity being the word there.
And you're saying that pets communicate in that way?
Particularly of me communicating with my dogs. Oh, Woody's just come in now. I don't know what he wants. You want to see Woody? If I can find Woody for you.
Woody can't hear. He's wagging his tail though, so he must be...
Hello.
Happy. Oh, he's wagging his tail very hard.
Can't get his. There we go.
Hello, you. Hello. Can you see me?
No, not from where he is.
No.
He can't see TV at all. It's just a
Oh,
light.
yes,
It's a
that's
coloured
right.
light. But Molly sees everything
Yeah.
on TV, and
Yeah.
she will bark at any representation of any non-human animal.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
don't know what it is that makes the difference. I don't know what it is that she sees that means that's an animal, because it could be a cartoon of a
Yeah.
fictional animal that doesn't even exist. It could be, there was an episode, I think, of The Simpsons, and she suddenly started barking, and I couldn't understand why. And it was because there was a picture of a cat on the wall of the, but it was all cartoon. It must be eyes or something. I don't know what it is that means that's an animal and I need to respond. What is it? He's going nuts. What's the matter, darling? I think he needs to go out.
The toilet.
I think he does.
Oh,
He went out an hour ago.
Right. Is that definitely what it is? Do we need to pause?
I think so. I mean, if I stand up and go towards the door and he runs for the door, then that's what I know that look.
Okay.
See if you can see the look.
Yes, you're being very patient.
Ears are up.
He's looking
Ears
at
are
me
up.
like,
yes,
I'm waiting here, but I do really need to be prioritised.
I need to do it. Maybe
Yes,
5
okay.
minutes. I'll leave everything running to save for an edit.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Outdoors.
They hear it. Phoebe walks around shaking her paws like, what is this I'm walking on? Gross.
Where's my backpack with the bubble?
Get me away from the air.
There is a photo, isn't there? I could put up, we could put up of you with the backpack on.
And that was dusk. Yeah, Phoebe can't even do that.
No.
It goes mad.
Dusk is the adventurer, the pioneer.
The adventurer.
She's gone out in the space capsule to see the universe.
Yeah.
The explorer. How could he yawn?
Yeah, I knew you were tired.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm nice tired, though. I'm physically tired.
Why is that nice?
It's appropriately tired. It's tired from being busy. You can be tired just because you've got no energy, and that isn't necessarily
I've been feeling a bit like that, actually.
busy tired.
No. Like just tired.
Oh.
Allergy kind of tired. Like heavy. And sometimes like in the morning going, oh, I'm heavy and like not feeling like rested or anything. But then like fine and probably better now than I was. But yeah, just kind of more tired than I would usually be. I think it's the time of the year.
I was just going to ask exactly that.
I do normally sleep more at this time of the year, but I'm also struggling with some sort of allergy that I'm trying to eliminate. So I've been like woken with coughing and I'm not going to use the word because you hate the word, but basically
Phlegm, catarrh, mucus. My 3 favourite words.
You said
I have to decontaminate it by saying it's like popping the balloon.
Okay, well, with that kind of horrible feeling in my throat, I'm going like there's just something here that's not right for the past week or 10 days. And I thought, well, maybe my antihistamine's not working. So then I switched to Benadryl, but it makes me exhausted.
Yeah, it does, yes.
Absolutely wrecks me. Although it did give me a couple of good nights' sleep and no allergy symptoms, but I stopped doing that.
Doctors often recommend it if you can't sleep, don't they? Take some antihistamines.
Yeah, but especially that one. The other one I normally take doesn't make me drowsy. But I've not taken that anymore, so I don't know why I'm still tired. Yeah, I've got some symptoms still, but actually I got rid of my pillow last night. And then I was like, oh my goodness, maybe it's my pillow. I remember having that theory before about the last pillow that I had, that it was maybe ramping up my allergy symptoms. Now this is weird because I do have like one of those covers on it, like fully zip around covers, and it is an expensive good pillow. But anyway, I reverted last night and didn't use it, and I didn't have as many allergy symptoms last night. But then, of course, my neck's sore because I was just using a normal pillow. So I have to kind of think, like, do I want
in what way do I want to feel bad today?
Yeah. And I also know there is an autistic element to this, because what I'm describing is not intense allergy symptoms. Like, I'm not sneezing, my nose is not running, my eyes are not puffy. For a lot of people, it would be like, okay, so what are you describing here, Siana? Like a little bit of extra, what's the word? Scratchiness in the back of my throat, and some coughing. Not like really bad coughing, some coughing. So some people, probably non-autistic people, would go, it's not really very much. I can sleep. But for an autistic person, it's like, that's different. Something is moving differently in my body and is not happy. And I know it's allergy because I've got a history of allergy. But these are not really acute symptoms, but they're enough to make me not sleep and make me know something's not working. And there's a delicate balance of what I need to work between the temperature, the pillow, the way that I sleep when I take an antihistamine to manage those. There's all of those things working together with this to make this an autistic experience. Yes. And I suppose how medications affect us is also different. Like, these are supposed to be non-drowsy ones, you know. Yeah. So it's not just that they make everybody drowsy like Puritan or something does. Like, these aren't meant to, but I know that they do make me, and they really do. Well,
it's exactly what I take when I'm with you. For the cats,
they don't make
I take Benadryl.
Overly
no, they
drowsy.
don't. Exactly.
Sure, they don't.
No, exactly.
Yeah, but they make me shattered.
And this makes me think of about a year ago, maybe a little bit longer, when you were having your new glasses made.
Yeah.
And basically there was some very, very fine tuning that needed to be done, which the optician was saying, no, it's not, that's not going to make any difference. And you would absolutely, you knew, because you could fucking feel it, that it was wrong and it was hurting.
Yes, that was actually hurting. But this is, I would say, you know, like for me, this feeling in the back of my throat is not okay. It means that I can't sleep, even if it would be way down the list of what a lot of people would even notice or try and do anything about. So I thought that you looked tired, and then I've just talked about how I feel kind of tired. Well, I don't feel kind of tired now, but I have kind of had a bit of
you're uncomfortable with parts of it in a way that I'm currently not, and I often am.
Yeah, you're saying it's a good, healthy tiredness.
It's a nice tired. It's a tired where I'll look forward to going to bed, and I almost never look forward to going to bed. I don't like turning off, and it's nice.
Yes.
It's nice to feel tired and to welcome sleep, which I wonder if that's I don't know what that is as well. I wonder if that's tired. Okay, so rewind. I've always hated going to bed, and of course, as a teenager, the typical thing, you know, you hate going to bed and also you hate getting up, so that's a lose-lose really. But I've always liked getting up, apart from maybe sometimes in my teens, but I like getting up. I like the morning, and especially, you know, when I'm here and the dogs are here, and then Woody will wake me up very, very early, especially in the summer. And that's nice. I do not have a problem. I can wake up and put my feet on the floor, throw clothes on and be out in less than 5 minutes in the right circumstances. But I've always hated going to bed. I suppose partly evenings and bedtime were panic attack times or meltdown times, as I now understand it. And that was fairly regular. So that would have been a bad association, but, you know, chicken and egg. But there's also something about, for me, has always been about letting go of the day, or it's, you know, we say FOMO now, fear of missing out. You know, that there's stuff going on. I don't want to miss anything. But I wonder what I was wondering just now is, I wonder if that's a hypervigilance thing. I'm interested to know, autisticlicense@gmail.com. how many autistic people either find it difficult or just don't like the end of the day, going to bed, letting go, going to sleep.
Yes. Is it ADHD more than autism?
Oh, good point. Yeah. Well, but I can see how it could be. I could argue for both angles, really, because ADHD would be resistant to no stimulation, and just letting everything stop. Yeah, the autistic part of that would be just about there might be danger if I stop monitoring everything.
Okay.
But also, this would be another autistic part of it, would be the very, very particular circumstances that I now know I need in order to go to bed and be comfortable and go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And like our sensitivities with temperature, like having that very narrow band of comfort. It's the same, I think, with what I particularly need in order to go to sleep. And because I'm on my own this week, I can do that in exactly the way that I want to do it and exactly the time. And it's wonderful. I absolutely love it.
So tell me more about why that is different. Okay, now just go back over what you just said and break it down a little bit. Like
the ingredients of
it, yes.
It's the ability to choose everything. So there's not necessarily even a consistency to this. It might be that I want to lie down, have the window open a little bit or a fan or something and just have some air and quiet and dark and drift away like that. Or I might want to have the TV on and watch something entertaining and or relax. It could be anything, but I need to be able to choose that.
Yeah. Yes. So you don't want the same thing every night?
I don't think so, no. I used to, absolutely. So for that long time in my late 20s when I lived alone, then that was pretty consistent, which would be some light and talk radio of some kind on. Yeah, yeah. And I would, if I didn't have those things, I think I would have found that disturbing. But I wonder how many stories about what I, air quotes, needed at that time were really true.
Yeah, I think I need a lot of it to be the same. Or if it's not, I think I do need a lot of it to be the same, actually. I don't like it to vary too much. I don't mind the time varying, but I like the routine and the ritual and the going asleep to be the same, which feels very, very autistic. And I don't think I have such a problem with the day end. I don't think I have anything with the day ending or fear of missing out or alertness in that sense, or anxiety, really. Oh, it sounds like there's an anxiety, there has been an anxiety element.
Yeah, definitely doesn't exist anymore. I'm over that. I don't mind. It's more now maybe, and this may be more of an ADHD part, that I don't want to necessarily, there's always more I'd like to have done, or just stimulation, or just, if I'm watching a series,
kind of like just because that's still available.
Yeah.
Sometimes I say that to Lana, like, there is tomorrow and you can watch it tomorrow, but it's like she can get that. I think it was never, when I used to struggle, it was due to rumination and more like low or insecure feelings, that I wouldn't have liked going to bed because I wouldn't have gone to sleep straight away because I'd have thought over things that I said or conversations that I had or something. Don't do that at all anymore. But I think that I went through lots and lots of years where that would have made going to bed not be very nice, because that would all come back. But thinking about it now, that's not an element of it. I'm more likely to go to sleep and then wake up and remember certain things. So more like in the middle of the night that would come.
Well, you've talked before about also having that very medieval, actually, kind of sleep pattern, which is the two sleeps pattern.
Yeah, and I don't mind thinking about things in the middle of the night, because as long as there's the time for it, like if I've gone to bed at a suitable enough time, the night before and got some sleep over me, then it actually feels productive to do some of that thinking in the middle of the night, because I'm not exhausted and I'm not giving myself a hard time. It's just, okay, this is here now. How do I see it? So yes, that's okay. But I never used to do that. I think when I was younger, it just took ages to get to sleep. And then I wouldn't have been up in the middle of the night in the same way, not in a let's enjoy this kind of a time. I'm not doing that. I haven't done that really that often lately, because I think I'm in winter sleep time now.
What does that mean for you?
Probably means that I sleep a bit more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just means that I sleep a bit more. In general, I'm a bit more sluggish in how fast thoughts come to me. That will change though. January's still the winter and thoughts will come thick and fast in January. So I don't just mean winter sleep time. I think this season, which is my low period. So I think I'm in that kind of sleep, which is probably let's just sleep and let's shut it all out if at all possible, and then have as much energy as I can have. But I'd say my energy is probably low, and maybe that's about feeling tired a lot of the time too. But maybe it all impacts on, it's maybe not actual physical tiredness. It's just it's dark and I'm not designed. No one is designed to work in the same way in the winter as the summer. It's just that we do. We're supposed to be hibernating and not doing as much. No, I don't think, but
No, not literally. Not
literally, but kind of. Nesting in some ways.
Nesting, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. There's Woody's curling up in his... You can see.
He was poking his nose at the books, actually. That's what I was looking at.
Oh, he's making his bed. He's making his bed. Oh, he stopped. He will nudge the cushion and the edges into all kinds of shapes until it's just right. Yes. Then he'll curl up. That was quite quick for him, actually. Sometimes he'll work on it for quite a long time. I didn't understand what he was doing. It seemed like he was trying to get the books or something. You know what Dusk did the other day? Dusk managed to wrap herself. I have a blanket that comes down at this time and goes on the sofa in the sunroom, and so it's one of those blankets that has arms, and all I had done was just thrown it in a heap on that sofa, and Dusk can, the way she can wrap things around herself, she had wrapped herself like an old lady in the red blanket. It was very cute. It's lovely. See, we're back to pets again.
Back to pets again.
Yeah. Somebody said to me recently, and I wrote it down because I thought it was really interesting, and it was about that stimulation thing. And they were talking also about the time of year and the things slowing down and kind of having time. But the lesson that they learn, and I wonder if there's something in this for me actually, is that they realised that they have to allow them, when they've got more time, they have to allow themselves to get bored. They have to let themselves get bored, which is really counterintuitive, and especially ADHD-wise, it's very, very counterintuitive, because that's when their creativity gets fired up.
True.
And I thought, that's definitely, yes, exactly. You can tell just from that. But I've never heard it just put so simply. And it was that particular wording, I have to allow myself to get bored. Yeah. And that's actually that's not just about letting yourself, that's quite scary, actually, I think.
I remember there was and I'm sure that I read this in some kind of parents forum, but whenever Lana used to say she was bored, I used to say to her, which was not my original, is what I'm saying, I learned it from someone, was, well, I look forward to seeing what you come up with doing then. Rather than kind of, I'll entertain you.
Yeah. Yes.
And of course it frustrates the child, but they do come up with something, and that kind of response is kind of coming from the same place of, you'll find a way not to be bored, and it's not through me entertaining
But
you.
if you've got a busy mind that goes to dark places, and which I certainly did as a child, in fact, I used to, it didn't matter if I was in the toilet, bathroom, whatever. If there was nothing to read, I would have to read something. I'd read the ingredients on the toilet bleach or something,
Yes, I used to read shampoo bottles.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, wow. Who thought we'd have that in common? But yeah.
When I was a kid, I didn't know. I've just remembered that now, and I don't really know why.
Well, I have a memory of why, so maybe this will chime or not, but I was, at a subliminal level, I guess, frightened to just let my mind go where it wanted to go. That was really scary for me. I knew it would go somewhere bad or somewhere scary. And so it was a case of having to just constantly, and of course I can now frame this in the various neurodivergences, but I had to have stimulation, I had to have information coming in, something, just to keep my mind processing and stop it just freewheeling into somewhere horrible. But that somewhere horrible could also be, and you're right, that's where creativity lives. And I don't have that kind of fear anymore. However, though, if that is just a very common childhood experience, and I understand why that need to be, entertained or stimulated, dialed up as usual, as we usually say in neurodivergence, then there's so much more available now. I mean, now I can't remember the last time I read the back of a shampoo bottle because I've got my phone and I can read the news or play a game. It's always there. It's always there. And the fact, this is what this person was saying in this conversation.
Yeah.
That, doom scrolling, all of that stuff, it's really hard. It's so much harder now, I would imagine, for it to even occur to you to stop. And this isn't about, young people and their technology. This thing is fantastic, mostly, actually. But just in terms of that, allowing yourself, especially if it's a frightening prospect, to let your mind go. It's also why meditation in the classic form, that it's quite counterintuitive that is not a relaxing experience for a lot of neurodivergent people. I can do it. There are times when I am calm enough and okay enough to do that, but other things will start leaking in. Again, I'll come back to it. So many multiple themes can touch on this. The lack of neural or synaptic pruning. Means that there are many more pathways for things to get in, so distraction can come in from many, many different paths.
That's right.
Sit in silence, and you're inviting who knows what.
Yeah, well, what you're saying, though, as well, it might be different now as an adult with the work that you've done, but as a child, it could lead into dark places, and maybe we don't always take that into consideration then whenever we say those kind of offhand statements that I gave an example of. Now, I did, Lana's mind was not going into dark places, she just wanted entertained, and she did come up with things, so I'm not saying I'm not particularly worried about in that case. But I guess I'm just kind of recognising that there's also like a caveat sometimes with that kind of thing. Then
yes, yeah.
Same as meditation. Yeah, it might lead some people into very creative processes, but other people into very unsafe, traumatic. Flashbacky kind of feeling,
or just curiosity leading off into as a child for me it was just about the infinite universe and the certainty of mortality. At 6, I wasn't equipped. I mean, you never are, I guess. But I mean, but the point was, I had the capacity, unfortunately, to be able to consider those things and try desperately to make sense, and then get absolutely shit scared.
Of course. Yeah. What did you need?
Wonderful question. I think I largely did get some of what I needed, I have to say. My parents would attend to me, and particularly my dad, and what he was able to do. And it would be the same thing very often, sort of over and over again. It was just a real life comparison. Do you remember that you felt like this last night? And do you remember that you that it was okay and that you didn't die? And that And that really helped, and that still does. That is exactly my kind of logic. I need to make a real world comparison.
Yeah.
What I don't need, and we've talked about this in terms of our health and medicine and that kind of thing, is pointless reassurance. That means nothing. Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. All of that stuff. We've said this many times. I just need some kind of, I suppose I needed some kind of, it's not a reality check. It was just perspective and comparison. There, that's it. Perspective and comparisons that were real world that I could relate to, that would make sense of the moment for me.
So something that was appropriate to your age that you could understand. Because actually, in some ways, one could think that a child who's expressing that kind of thing might want to have an actual existential conversation, and you could then, I don't mean an actual, that sounded patronising, I mean you could then talk to that child at a level that just scared them more because they just don't have the brain cognitive development to go into it. And that's what's confusing. If a child's asking the question, sometimes you think, oh, they must be ready, but actually
Mummy, what happens when we die?
Weren't ready.
Oh, well, we don't know.
So I don't. It's a thin line, isn't it?
Yes, of course it is. Of course it is.
Between and because you needed something real, but what your dad did was the tangible, verifiable. What do you know, and how can we build on what you know?
But when you said age appropriate, it was for me, but actually another child of that age, maybe a neurotypical one, perhaps, wouldn't have been able to process things in that logical, real world way, and would have actually wanted just the all-powerful parent to say, don't worry, it's going to be fine.
Yeah. Well, maybe you're saying that because that's then what, as we've talked about before, health professionals do. So does that have its basis in... Yeah, that's what most people want when they're vulnerable. So,
and that comes into why I'm a therapist also, is because that's not what we do. We don't do that. We don't say, I'm sure it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
We are curious and we dig around and we get to something that's underneath that's making that happen and making it frightening.
And then whenever you said, what would I have needed? And underneath it all, what you would have needed was for the environment to change. I don't know if we'll be able to keep this in.
Well, let me put it this way. I suppose what I needed was for the world to feel safe. Yeah. And that can be in a very macro localized version of the world, of your house or your family or home, and it can be society that we live in, and it can be just the neurotypical world. All of those things don't feel right if you're neurodivergent. Yes.
So you were looking for something that wasn't possible.
How different would it have been if I'd have known why I was different, or that I was different, not broken? One of the favourite hashtags. Would that have made a difference?
Would it have made a difference?
It would. Well, it would have made a difference, and it would have been a good difference and a bad difference in all different kind of ways.
Because if you can't actually make the world safe enough for your child, even with all the information in the world, or even with all the information, what if we can't? Because the world is as the world is. Is that just what we live with?
It is, but if you're autistic and you don't know it, then it's just that the world doesn't make sense and it never will. But you don't know why. But now I know why, so I can live with not understanding certain aspects of the world or them not making sense to me because I know why. And I feel justified and therefore more confident in feeling different.
Yeah.
I've got more, I've got a framework to experience the world with now.
Yes.
Mm.
Oh.
There's something in there probably.
Yeah, it might just be a little short episode, but we haven't really done those for a while, so it might just be that this is just a little chat about pets and
existentialism. And a 6-year-old Leo realising he's going to die one day. Fuck's sake. I can't remember if we've broadcast this, but because of these panic attacks as we framed them at the time, there were 2 periods of me attending family therapy, essentially, with a child psychiatrist at Great Ormond Street. And the one thing, I know I've told you this, but I can't remember if we've recorded anything about it. But I was feeling brave. I was 9. I was feeling brave, and I asked him, "Is this just me? Am I the only person? You see lots of kids. Am I the only one who has this?" And he wouldn't answer me. And I guess he thought that was the helpful thing to do, was not to label me. I don't know. I mean, it was 1975, but...
Oh, I was born.
It was... Yes, I'm aware.
You can't say my birth year and not expect me to make a connection and just go...
That's the one. Other than that, I thought the work he did, particularly at the time, was absolutely fantastic. But I think that was such a terrible thing to do, because that just stuck with me for forever. Actually,
maybe there was no one like you.
Oh shit! And on that bombshell,
I don't think that I used to worry about dying. Then again. Just to be even more morbid about it, I think I kind of befriended the idea of dying quite early. And I just thought I was just going to die, and that was okay. So I think,
okay.
I know, but I think that I didn't have any fear. I didn't have a healthy fear of it.
It didn't make you a massive risk taker or anything, did it? You didn't go into danger sports or...
I did not. No way.
No, exactly.
No, but it was just a kind of a depressive stance.
I think I'd have chosen that if I'd have had the choice.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and maybe on some level I did. Maybe on some level I did. Maybe it was like, if the choice is to go into like a dorsal state like that rather than a hypervigilant state, I'll take that. And Deb Dana talks about having a home away from home, whether it's the high activation or the, shut down, withdraw, despair. It's all over state. And that is, it's not a choice, a conscious choice, but it's an autonomic choice that goes on in your nervous system. Anyway, yes, I can see you're nodding, looking at the clock going, I need to go. So we need to find an ending out of that in case we do actually decide to publish this. So how do we make a minute transition ending?
Maybe you just did by saying that.
Leo wants to go, even though I'm talking about this. Leo wants to go. And,
I don't want to go.
Get on with his life. There you are. Let's just rehash my childhood. Okay, thank you.
Don't do that. Now I have to cancel everything and stay with you for the whole evening. I can't do that now. Oh my God.
No, don't worry about me. Sure. We're all going to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. See you, maybe. Okay, lovely listeners. Good to be with you.
Time is short. It's later than you think.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Autistic License podcast. You can connect with us via Instagram, Facebook at autisticlicense.com or by email at autisticlicense@gmail.com. And we spell license the British way, LICENCE. We also have a thriving Facebook community. Search for Autistic License Siana and Leo or click on the link in the show notes.